Hi there, Amol Karale here, and this is truly an honor and privilege for me to interview my mentor, Siddharth Rashekar. He has really played an important role in my transformation journey and in my success. I'm really grateful and thankful to him. And today, I'm super duper excited for this interview. Siddharth Rashekar, also known as Sidz, is the author of the book You Can Coach and founder of Internet Lifestyle Hub, one of the world's largest communities for coaches, trainers, teachers, and experts with over 10,000 members. He is a lifestyle entrepreneur and international speaker. Sidz has trained over 2 lakh people in last 10 years, recognized as one of India's leading and sought after info marketing specialist. Siddharth has worked closely with renowned international experts like Robert Kiyosaki, T. Havekar, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, and Jack Canfield. He is on a mission to reform the education and employment system by building a new breed of digital leaders based on the core principles of humanity and simplicity, and by enhancing one's social skill, happiness, and overall productivity. Thank you so much, Sidz, for giving your precious and valuable time for being a part of this exclusive interview. Welcome, Sidz.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sidz, the intention of this interview is to help people to become the best version of themselves, which I call as version 2.0 in all the 7 key areas of life. It's health, whether career or business, financial, relationship, spiritual, contribution, and quality of life. So I have prepared a series of questions, which is going to help all our viewers to watch this and make a note so that they can also unlock their version 2.0 in the 7 key areas of a life. So my first question to you, Sidz, is I want to know about your version 1.0, to be more specific on your backstory. How were you as a person during your childhood, during your school days, during your college days, and how was your old identity?
Great question, Amol. And I think I would be at probably version 9.0 or 10.0 right now, if I count all the different changes that I went through. So if I have to just backtrack and tell you, what were the major points that shifted my personality in different stages, if I have to backtrack, I think the first moment was, when I was in school. I remember I used to be just a typical student. And then when I got into the cricket team, right, I went through the selections and I studied in Bishop Cotton's, which is a pretty well-reputed institution. There were many students and went through the selections. When I got into that cricket team, out of thousands of students, there were just maybe 20, 25 with gotten. I felt there was a shift in my personality. Some kind of confidence kicked in. And then, later on went to for Karnataka state selections. I could see a difference when I was just an average student to really me pushing myself and getting selected and being a part of something bigger, and where I had to really, demonstrate my talents and skills. So I can go back to saying that was one of my defining moments. And later on in my 8th standard, I won a music. I was a singer in school. Still, I used to sing in the school choir. I won the Peter Coelho Award for music. I was the #1 singer out of 1,000 plus students that year, where I sang a song called One Step at a Time, and I got an award. So that also it shifted my mind, confidence kicked in. And then, but that was the same year where I also got slapped in front of my teacher, in front of the whole class for bunking class in the name of music. Okay. So I've also had moments where, I got tested really, because I was never a kind of a student who would sit in class. I was always outdoor, playing cricket or in music. I could not sit in the boring classroom. So anyway, that pattern continued. I was an average student, scored 66% in my ICSE board exams. Some barely made it, then went into a different college. But in college, I had 11% attendance. I was always outside, got proxies, and it was a defining moment of my life. When I flunked my 12th, I had to really think about my life on a much more deeper level, because when I failed my 12th grade and I scored 28% on my maths board exams, it was obvious because I was not in class. I was outside playing snooker and hanging out with my friends and stuff. I was never in the classroom. So that was another point where I had to redefine myself. Because when I flunked 12th, everybody in my family, coming from a typical Tambram South Indian family, all are engineers, everybody's going to US, BE, MS, regular flow of things. And I was the guy who flunked. And so the family members, they were concerned about me. They were like, what's this guy going to make out of his life and stuff. And at that point, I came across this newspaper ad and I did a course. I found a course in sound engineering, a diploma course where the qualification was only 10th standard, not 12th standard. So I thought, okay, let me do this because I had the talent in music from my younger days. So when I did that course and when I finished that course I finished at 92%. I was like a topper in that university. I mean, it was a very small university, only like 20, 30 people per batch. And I was in batch 9 in that batch. Interesting thing is, I got a job in that institution at age 19. And my first job was a teaching job. I used to teach people how to make music on, laptops and using the Pro Tools and Nuendo, Cubase, on all these different. And I was teaching people who were twice my age. So there also I saw a shift. So from being looked down like a loser who failed his 12th, to now a teacher at 19, like 18 to 19, that was also big, like a next version upgrade for me that I experienced. And then if I have to like fast forward a little bit, I got my first job internationally. I went and worked in Dubai, Internet City for 3 years. I was to make ringtones. So even getting that job was also an upgrade for me. Like in my family, everybody went abroad and they worked after having a degree, but me, without having a degree, I got an international break. So that also shifted my mindset, by a large way, working internationally. But I had to work my way up because I went alone. There was no support system, nothing. It was not like back in India where I had whole family members and everyone to support me, or, it was very different. When I got to work alone, I had to fend for myself, lifestyle, food, taking care of myself. Like it's very different when when you go alone outside India as compared to India. But luckily Dubai is as close as India as it can get. But the cost of living and managing money, I learned a lot of life lessons during that phase. And besides the job, that was another upgrade for me. And then when I came back, I built a large team of from a 4-member company to a 50-member company. I grew in a startup. I was still working in a job at that point of time. And again, understanding how I could bring out my administration and my management skills. Before I was just a creative guy, then moved from creative to management. And growing up the corporate ladder also gave me a lot of insights on my own potential. And then if I have to now look back at the last 10 years, now whatever I shared with you was before the last decade. Okay, so the last decade has been a big shift for me because I ran an agency for 6 years with 35 employees, big team, worked with big names like Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, and those are all the credentials of the kind of clients that came to us that I worked with, and working with them. It did a couple of things. Once I actually was analyzing influencers and I understand how they would operate and work. So the work ethics, being clear on briefs, being clear on deliverables, delivering results, focusing on results, and also managing my team and ensuring my team's able to deliver results. So I learned a lot running my own business. But again, the sad truth was that while I was running the business as a business owner, I was not having much cash flow for myself because I was paying the teams, real estate, infrastructure costs, paying the taxes, tools, marketing costs. And I would not be able to take much money back home. So that was a very big and bitter lesson that I learned after 6 years of running the business. Because every year I used to think, okay, next year we'll do better. Next year we'll have more profits. But the problem is in a services business, there are many dynamics. There's people, sometimes the payments would not come on time, but I would still need to pay the salaries. Rent has to be paid. Marketing costs and tool costs have to be there. So, I was not able to really make it work like the way that I wanted, not because of anybody else, but by my own decisions. Probably I was not caught. And that's how I started the whole freedom business model concept. I said, okay, forget office, forget all of this. Let me build a business where I'm only selling products and having a lean and mean team. So that was also a transition when I went back to relearning from my mentor, Vic. He opened me up to a new way of looking at business. And so if I have to look back, many upgrades that kept happening. It's not just a version 1 or version 2. I think it was like version 9, version 10. And I continue to go through these different version changes. So I think the biggest lesson that I learned from the last 10, 20 year journey is adaptability. I've always been adaptable and malleable and not too fixed upon my own ideas. And if I feel something is not working, I don't mind surrendering to people who are successful, and I like to follow what's going. So I think that humility, modesty aspect has really helped me, because just because I've achieved success, I don't want to let it get into my head. There's always a next level to go to, and you can learn from anybody. Okay, even though your child can teach you, and you need to have the humility to learn from somebody who has lesser experience than you also. Okay, so reverse mentoring, all those concepts. So again, thanks to my mentors who planted these ideologies. I think that was the biggest lesson. It's being adaptable, being open, making course corrections, and just completely surrendering to processes. Like whoever, at whichever stage I was in, whether it's music, whether it's cricket, or whether it is digital business, whichever coach came into my life, I just 100% went full. I surrendered to them and went through their process of transformation. So wow. I hope that has given you some perspective.
Yeah, this is awesome. From version 1, 2, 3, 4, and now at 9 or 10, this is really beautiful. Since I have one question, you mentioned you love cricket. Okay, you were the top player. You never thought to become a cricketer, because suddenly from cricket you went to music, then digital. You never thought, let me represent India. No, like, because you were really doing well at that point of time. So how did
cricket? Honestly, cricket was my life. I used to breathe cricket every single day from 4th standard all the way till 10th standard. I went for Karnataka state selections under 13. I was there. I was going to be the wicketkeeper for that year, the main Karnataka wicketkeeper. I was wicketkeeper, opening batsman. But at that point of time, there was some politics, and that was there at that point. I could not make it that year. But that was also my 9th and 10th standard. So the whole focus went back into academics. I had to study. And after that, I could not get into state. Probably if I'd gone into the state team full-fledged, it would have taken a different, turn.
Yes.
But everything happens for a reason. I had my fun in cricket. I continued to play in college. And when I went to Dubai, I played in indoor cricket for a long time. So we had our own company team. We played in Sports Dubai. So it was great fun. And I think more than going and representing India, all of these things, I think I learned a lot about team spirit, working together. Since I was a wicket keeper, I used to play a lot of the psychological games behind the wicket, behind the stumps, to really mess around with the batsman's head and have like code language with my bowlers so that we can, get them out and stuff. So had a blast going through that experience, and the bonding that we had as a team. I mean, I think anyone who has not played a sport like a team sport, they will never be able to understand the magic of brotherhood, and cricket has given me that. So I don't mind if I did not go the bigger route, but it has taught me a lot, man. Yeah.
Great. Siddharth, my next question is, who is your favorite Indian cricketer? Who is your favorite player at this point?
I think since I come from the previous, probably I grew up in the 90s, right? So 90s. Mm-hmm. For me, my favorites were definitely Sachin, so the kind of guy he was, and even now, mm-hmm. the humility that he has and the way that he's, focused on his craft, and to be that master he is, and no one is going to come close to him in the history of cricket, the way that he's done. So Sachin, and I've had an opportunity to play with, with Stuart Binney and, many of the other guys who went on to play for the national level team, even what's his name? Forgetting a few names, but I've played with many of the guys who ended up playing for India later during my school days. So I think my favorite cricketer definitely would be, Sachin, and I used to really look up to Dravid. Also, he had come to our school and given some talks. I mean, he's a perfection. I love his persona of being a gentleman. And I think the entire Karnataka squad, I loved all of them. Kumble, Srinath, those back in the day, those guys. Of course, now Captain Cool, he's captain. There's no way. I think everybody loves Dhoni and Virat. So yeah, those have been my inspirations in sports figures. Yeah.
So now, do you love to play cricket? You play now because you are
not much.
A lot of things, but
not much opportunity these days. Okay. But I think whenever we get a chance, I think last time I played was when we had our. I used to attend. I was a BNI member a few years ago. We had our own BNI cricket team, so I played for our BNI champions, and that was the last time I played. I guess we played a tournament, and we got smashed. We played a tournament. I think we got out in the first or second match itself. But yeah, that was the last time I played. But now I don't get much of a chance. Yeah.
Great, awesome. Since I have attended a lot of your webinars. I'm being part of your Diamond member, and you always share your story about your grandpa. I get goosebumps You always share your story of your wife when you're struggling at one point of time. You kept the gold and all that stuff. You went through a lot of challenges. How your grandpa has played an important role in your life? How has played a crucial role in your life?
Yeah, grandpa has set the value system for not just my life, for the entire family, because he comes, it's a large joint family. He was a eldest brother, and his father, my great grandfather, used to work for the British as a typist, and he was just like a clerical role. So very meager salary that he used to get. And my grandfather was the eldest son, 7 brothers and 3 sisters. So it was and he had to make it happen. So my grandfather only studied till 5th standard because he had to get it to work. He had to start working to get money back home. So it was a very difficult situation when he started off. But what I noticed about grandpa is when I look at his story, he used to read a lot of books, like all the English. Even I speak English well today because of grandfather's. He used to speak to me only in English when I was young. So he used to speak to me in English. I studied in a convent school also. So all of that helped. So he set the right value system. So, for example, he would say, he would be such a giver. His left hand would not know what his right hand is giving. Like he would be helping a lot of people on the side. Later on, we came to know that he's helped somebody in their marriage. He helped somebody in their education while he was successful in his business. Even his wife would not know what is going on. His brothers would not know what's going on. Like he was that kind of a man. And one of the other principles I learned from him is never criticize in public. Okay. Appreciate people in public and criticize in private. Okay. Never bash anybody down. He would never look at anybody as competition. He was in the cutthroat industry of retail construction. He was the construction retail industry, heavy machinery, spare parts he used to sell. So on JC Road in Bangalore, there's a very popular street there where all these companies would be there. Okay, he was one of the first companies that started on that road in 1950s, and there would be many competitors, but he would never look at anybody as competition. He would go and help his competitors. He would give them ideas, give them a break. So these were some of the values that everybody in our family we have that. So my grandfather has 5 children, 2 daughters and 3 sons, and the first son is my dad, and of course the other 2 sons. My dad is Rajshekhar. The second brother is Murli, and third one is Mahesh. So Murli and Max Srinivasan are heading BNI now. Okay, so they are So it's grandfather's value system. So BNI, Mac is one of the top the international heads of BNI. So he looks over many regions, and Murli is one of the key people who helped shape up BNI India. So I got inspiration from grandpa and from his children also. Okay, my uncles.
You become an entrepreneur. You got an inspiration from your grandpa.
Yeah.
And oh wow.
Grandfather set the value for the value system for the family, and then and everybody have been contributing in their own ways. And when I'm looking at them, and I grew up in that kind of household where the discussions in the dinner tables would be more about how we can help people, how we can serve people, what is happening in the business. And there was never a time where the family members would fight with each other. And normally families have issues with siblings and those kind of things. Even if there are issues, they would. Grandfather was very clear at setting the issues right, in relationship issues, because he has 7 brothers, and imagine 7 brothers with their wives all living under one roof. It can get quite messy, in people, relationships and stuff.
I can relate because my grandfather is also 7 sons. I can relate with them.
Yeah, and everybody lived under one roof. But in spite of that, my grandfather used to give the money to his father. Like whatever collections would come in the business, his father was the family head. They would give, and he would distribute the money equally to all the sons and daughters. So that kind of thing is, now we don't see that in today's day and age. But I think that the more I listen to those stories, I get more inspired. And one of the other key principles that grandpa taught is, to never let schooling interfere with your education. So since he was a dropout, he was successful, he was a reader. So I got that inspiration from him. And even though he told me that, I learned that lesson only when I failed my 12th. So when I flunked 12th, I realized that message. That college is not everything. Let me focus on learning what I want to learn. So I think all those things matter a lot, because today, if you look at typical Indian parents, they're only looking at the IIT, IIM, and
yes.
traditional. Their aspiration for their kids are all tied to which education institution they can get in, so that they can get a good job, so that they can get a good marriage and all, prospectus and all. It's very messed up, if you actually ask me. The whole system, it worked in the industrial era, but now we're living in a different world. So you can't go with the same ideologies anymore. So thanks to grandpa's value system, even my parents were more open to me trying new things. So I have to thank my parents also.
Yes.
If not for their open-mindedness, I would not be able to explore new things. And even when I failed my 12th, I still remember my mother said, don't worry, you can try next time and make it happen. So they never really tarnished my self-image or put me down or anything like that. So I think that makes a big difference, especially for parents whose kids, the more parents pressurize the kids and bash them or tarnish their image, that will affect them in their future, on their self-image and things like that. So even now when I have two sons, I'm homeschooling them. I'm bringing them up in a very different way, not like in the typical parenting that people would have. So yeah, thanks to grandpa. If not for him, I would be doing something very different. Yeah.
Really a goosebump story. I love to listen to, whenever you share that story, I love to listen to that story. So Siddharth, I have one question. When did the seed of becoming a digital coach entered into your mind? Because you have your own digital agency. So when that seed came into your mind that I want to become a digital coach, where you came, you had your own mission that you want to reform entire education space, plus the people are working in corporate. When exactly that happened?
See, it naturally evolved. It didn't come as, okay, I want to do this. It happened naturally. I'll tell you the different phases. This first phase was I launched the digital agency and I started to do work for others. And then I realized after some point of time, because I've done some bit of teaching and training before, like I used to teach sound engineering and stuff. I had this gift of simplifying concepts. You give me anything complex, I can break it down and make it easy for people to understand. So I thought, okay, let me start doing workshops. I started to do social media workshops in 2012. That was my first time I started to train. Now, at the point of us recording this video, it's 10 years back. Okay, my first training in a room of 5-6 people would come, and I did a full day workshop. Then I ended up doing workshops all over India. This is something many people don't know. I've done more than 65 workshops in every major city in India with at least 20-30 people in the room, including Dubai. Every month I would do one workshop, and through that workshop I would get clients. But the thing is, I was not doing any kind of hard selling there. I would just do the workshop, and naturally people who connected with me, they would end up becoming our clients but the thing was, when I was doing those workshops, it was never profitable. Minus 20,000, minus 30,000. I would pay for the hotel, pay for the banquet, my flights, and then I would go and come back, and somehow it would just be minus. Okay. So it was a very difficult, kind of scenario. But then what happened was, after all that practice that I did for 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 5 years I did that. Okay. 2016, I met Blair Singer, Train the Trainer I attended, blew my mind away. And then in 2017 was the first time in a live stage I did sales. Okay. So the first time I did sales was in Johannesburg in South Africa, where there were 800 people in the room. I did the sales pitch. Zero sales. Nobody bought. Okay. I got crushed. Okay. And then I came back and I did another event in Delhi for the first time. I shared the stage with Brian Tracy and at National Achievers Conference. And I sold a 3-day program. Some 65 people bought 15 lakhs in 90 minutes. And then in that 3-day program, for the first time in my life, I did like 48 lakhs in one weekend. Okay, so, and I was selling my services at that point of time. So they would come for a 3-day workshop. And then at the end of it, I offered my company services. But of course, the profitability was not too high because there was a revenue share that would go to multiple parties. I had to pay my teams. So revenue-wise, we did very well, and I continued doing a live 3-day workshop-based selling for quite a few years. And in 2018, when I decided, okay, let me stop this live thing and let me start to do online. And I don't want to sell my time. I don't want to travel and do any kind of things. I just want to sell products. I thought, let me just sell digital courses. That's it. Okay. Because I'm not selling my time. I'm not selling my services. So I have more freedom. That's why I coined it Freedom Business Model. But before that, I went and met Vic. I was promoting his products as an affiliate. And I was making very good money through affiliate marketing alone. Like, not my product. I'm not delivering it. I'm just being the middleman. And how I would sell is, I would get people to the webinar. Same webinar, 90 minutes webinar formula. And instead of selling my products, I was selling his products.
Correct. Affiliate. Yeah.
Affiliate. And then if anyone would upgrade inside his platform, I would make more commissions because he had a $50 product and a $500 and $1,000. So there was no problem. And and how I started my thing was he was working with ClickBank. Okay.
Mm.
And I was getting commissions through ClickBank.
Mm.
And there was some problem with ClickBank for 2 months where more than $25,000 of my commissions got stuck.
Okay.
I had to wait, and I'm spending money on ads. So in that 2-month period, I did not know what to do. So 1 month I allocated to record whatever I learned from Vic. I said, let me record my own version of it. And I created the Freedom Business Model.
Wow.
And I created Freedom Setup Challenge. So it was not planned. It was because of that commission that got stuck that I was forced to create my own courses. And if you look at Freedom Business Model version 1.0 that I launched, it was more around affiliate marketing only.
Mm.
Only now I changed it to digital coaching, like after 2 years. So once I started to sell my products in 2018, the response was awesome, because I was not just talking about affiliate marketing. I also brought in the aspect of courses, digital products. I brought in the aspect of coaching also, because I've been doing like live training and coaching also before. So I brought in all the things that I do, and consulting. Like if you want to do high ticket consulting, you can do that also. But you can get people in through courses and then offer them that at the back end. So I basically created my own version of the whole thing, and that naturally evolved into digital coaching. So it's an evolutionary journey again, but nothing was planned. Even now, nothing is planned. Even I launched something called Quantum right now after like three years of doing it, and that was by helping people get more results. And based on what I'm doing, I want to take them to the next level. And then I launched like a super high ticket. So it naturally took its own flow, and based on the feedback that I was getting from my customers. What do they want? What problems are they facing? How can I fix it in the best possible way? And with that focus, that's what it is today.
Wow. Since you mentioned the first workshop you did it in 2012 with 5 to 6 people, and I can see from 2012 till 2018 your journey is like ups and downs. You never got success, but 12, 13, 14, 6, 7 years you were working hard. At that point of time, you never thought, bus ho gaya, I want to quit. It's getting a lot of troll. I'm working hard, but profits are not coming. Because nowadays I see people give up. Okay, they enter into your program, they don't have patience, they do like 8-10 webinar, they don't get sell, and they quit. Because I have been in journey, I have done more than 300-400 webinars. I know how it sometimes I also get but still I see you as a motivation and I keep doing it. So can you help our audience to know why people are not persistent these days, why they quit easily, why they don't have patience? Because you started in 2012 and people think Sidz is lucky, because he entered in 2018. That time there was no coach, and I don't believe in it. So can you help us? How did you had that patience? You keep working hard, and you didn't you had still had that burning desire. Can you brief
I'll tell you the answer to that is the book right behind you, The Magic of Failure. Okay. Only failure will teach you the real lessons. No matter how many courses you buy, no matter how many coaches you go and invest in, ultimately you'll get the best lessons from your failures. So just keep that in mind. That's the first point. So what kept me going is, one is I was very sure about what kind of lifestyle that I want to live. Okay, so I first got clear on my goal and my lifestyle in the beginning itself, even though it was a far-fetched, So 7 years, it is not that I did not have the good moments. There were some good moments also during those 7 years, and then there were also moments where it would go down, and we had to go back to the drawing board and see what can we do next. And there were tough situations in family. My wife would ask me, "What's going on? Are we ever going to improve the situation?" And she was also, we had a first child that was born. And we had very tough situation. Like I could not buy food for the family on some months. I had to cut corners, but everybody thought I'm running agency. I was successful. And I still remember one of the days I would take my wife and I went on a drive. I got an offer from Flipkart, by the way. This was in 2015, I guess. While I was in the middle of my agency, Flipkart sent me an offer saying that, hey, you have this good digital marketing knowledge. Come and head one of our divisions. And it was a very high sales package, a big package it was. Okay. And my wife said, just jump for it. At that point, I told her, no, I'm not going to do this, because it's once I get back into the rat race of the corporate world, it's a different. They will squeeze the life out of me. Here, I won't have my freedom. She could not get it. And we had a big fight I was driving a Maruti Zen car that time, and we had a huge fight in the car, and I just screeched the car, came to a halt. And I still remember I told her this, Vanita, I'm willing to be underpaid for a few years of my life so that I can be overpaid for the rest of my life. Just trust me on this. Okay, I told her that. And something shifted in her. She believed that, okay, there's something in me, there was a spark in me, and she allowed me to continue with what I was doing. So this was in 2015, because I was sure, because of the mentoring that I had before, I knew my potential, and I knew the potential of the industry that I'm in, digital marketing. And I saw many success stories. Okay. So I did not want to shift my ground just because there's a shortcut somewhere else. This is the problem. You ask me, what is the problem? Is people, they want shortcuts.
Yes.
Okay. People want instant gratification.
Yes.
Instant, just like Instagram generation right now, all instant, everything they want instant. Okay. So luckily, I've, thanks to my upbringing, thanks to the cricket experience, thanks to my music experience, I understood that anything worthwhile, it takes time. Okay, anything that's not worthwhile will get instantly. And my mentor Vic also says, there's a beautiful quote. He says, anything that's worthwhile, it requires effort. And I don't know the exact quote, but anything that's worthwhile, it's not easy. Anything that comes easy is usually not worthwhile.
Wow.
Okay. That was a very powerful statement that went into my head. And now, since that has gone into my DNA, I don't mind waiting for things. I didn't mind going through that, that cocoon to caterpillar to butterfly, experience. I was okay going through that drill. And so I think that was the mindset, Amol. That's the only thing that helped me come through. And if all of you, any of you are watching this or hearing this, if this one point gets into your mind, you will be successful. Okay. And it is not just an inspirational or a motivational thing. It is a natural law of the universe, because if you're putting enough energy in one thing, it is bound to grow. The problem is you try something for a little bit. You do 2 webinars and you say, oh, webinars don't work anymore. Yes. Okay. I mean, and then you just do 3-4 coaching calls and it does not work anymore. Like you're not giving it time to fructify. True. And then you're shifting to something else, looking at some attractive marketing ad, thinking, okay, this will solve my problem. And you go to that problem, it is the same problem. The problem is not the teacher. The problem is not the method. The problem is you. You have to stay on course long enough.
True.
Yeah. And that's what worked for me. The change that I experienced financially was those 7 years, I was jumping from one thing to the other. The shiny object syndrome. Like I would buy this course, then buy that course, then buy this tool, superb marketing ad. It would be like, wow, just press this one button and everything will change in your life. It's like those kind of ads. I'd fall for that. And then what ended up happening is then I came into Vic's world, and Vic said, all of this, that's not the way how it works. So he set the right principles, later on when it comes to digital ecosystems. He gave me the principles, and then I completely followed what he said. And then I saw the results happen. So that is because that's the formula. Because if everything were so easy, then everybody would be successful. But success does not come so easy. And the universe will test you. Especially when you feel, okay, yes, I'm going to get into this right now, you'll get slapped a little bit here and there. For the universe to test you to see if you're ready, if you're really wanting to do this or not. Mm-hmm. And even in this digital coaching journey, I've had multiple slaps. Facebook ad accounts getting banned, like technology getting broken, like a lot of multiple dynamics in the business that teaches the lessons. So if you do not have the long-term vision or the passion for the topic, if you don't have the mindset that you need to, that this is a long-term game, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You need to go through the stages of evolution from a cocoon to caterpillar to butterfly. You don't have that mindset. You're only looking for shortcuts. You'll never be successful. You'll keep buying one thing after the next and you'll repeat the same pattern. Rather, just stop the pattern, pick whichever mentor you connect with, just go deep into it, give it time and let it fructify. Otherwise, same example of the baby. A baby takes 9 months to come out of the stomach. And people are expecting the results to happen in, overnight.
Overnight, yeah.
So give it that time. But having said that, there are some members in our community, they achieve results much faster than others because of having the right mindset. Maybe they would have spent a lot of years before of their experience. And now when they implement my models, they're able to move very fast. Like in your case, you just picked it up like a sponge, right? Because of your past experience. And then you are able to really implement the automation and all these ideas much faster and get results fast. So the journey is different for different people. Don't compare yourself with somebody else. The only person you're racing with is yourself, and go through the grind. Yeah.
Profound, Siddharth. I remember Rajiv is one of my mentor. He always says success is shabby.
Yeah.
You need to enjoy that phase, but many people give up. Siddharth, you said about the mindset part, and I'm 100% believer that the foundation should be strong. And for me, the foundation is like your self-image, your belief system, your mindset, your habit, your fear, and your attitude. So
Yeah.
I want like from your side, how mindset plays an important role and what people should do to make their foundation stronger. Because skills you can learn, you have an amazing tools and techniques that you teach. So what about the mindset part? People are not, they're just focusing on skills, but they don't understand the foundation should be strong. So
True.
what kind of foundation what kind of rituals you follow to have that mindset? Because it's all about 90% mindset and 10% skills and 100% action. So what type of rituals you follow to have a strong mindset, to have that strong self-image, and how you have overcome your belief system?
Sure. I'll just give an analogy for this. Okay. Now you just take your mobile phone. Okay. You have a mobile phone. And the mobile phone has, you've got like an operating system. Okay. So the OS is there, like iOS or Android or what was, you have the operating system. And then you have different applications on the phone. Okay. So the most people have the problem in the OS itself. It is the operating system problem. And this I got to learn from Vic. He was telling that most people, they want success. Okay. They want to achieve goals, and they want the tactics and tools and strategies. They want the new applications, but they're not willing to work on the operating system. So operating system is the mindset, and the strategies and tactics are the apps. Okay. So the way that I approach this is, when anyone comes into my community, the first thing I tell them is they need to get clear on what they want, and they have to start upgrading their OS. So how to upgrade the OS? There are many tools, many processes, many things that are there. Okay. The one that I recommend is to listen to Strangest Secret in the World every single day, twice in a day. Now that is like the essence. That's a 30 minutes audio. It's a compressed version of all of Napoleon Hill's, all of those principles from the law of success into 30 minutes, like a very condensed form of success. Okay. So, and it's really hard hitting. So people who come into the community, I first make them install this first ritual of listening to an audio every day. And if anyone does it for 30 days, something will shift inside their head. Their operating system will get upgraded. Okay. From version 1 to version 2 to whichever version. Now, while that is happening, while the OS is getting updated, it is at that point I install new applications into them. That's what my hackathon does. Okay. My hackathon is what first I install the application of how to find your niche, then how to design the curriculum, then how do you plan your budgets, then how do you set up your website. Okay. All the tools and all will come towards the end. How do you set up your webinar system? And then towards the end, how to sell through the webinar. So as you're going through the mindset, as your OS is getting updated, when I'm installing these new apps, these apps will start to work much faster. Okay. And the other rituals that I implant into the members of my tribe is, besides this audio, they have to write their goals on a daily basis, at least 2 pages of goals, because goals are like a reflection of where you want to really go. And the more you're able to reflect on that, it will give you different ideas. And I'll give you the example. Once I was going with my son to the airport. Okay. And we forgot his Aadhaar card, his ID card for the airport. So if I turn back, I'll miss the flight. If I go in the front, I'm not sure if you can make the flight. So it is in a catch-22 situation. So I had to decide, okay, what do we do? I remembered that in my mailbox, I have the digital version of his Aadhaar thing. Let me take a printout. So I told the driver, just find a print shop nearby and let's take a printout. So within 2 minutes, the driver found a print shop. I went to that print shop. I quickly logged into my email ID, downloaded the Aadhaar, and luckily we had the ID proof to board the flight. And I came back to the cab, and we started to go to the airport. Another 15 minutes was there. In those 15 minutes, I saw 20 other print shops.
Wow.
Okay. Why? Because I was focused on the print shop.
Yes.
Now, if I had the Aadhaar card with me, I would have never seen that.
True. Where the focus goes, the energy.
Absolutely. Where the focus goes, the energy flows. So that is why when I tell people, write 20 goals per day, they start to see in their normal life the opportunities. They're already there, just that you're not focusing on it. Okay. So the second ritual, which our members, once they start to do, they start to see the results. This is also part of the operating system upgrade, because most people are clueless about what they want in life. And now they'll be focused to think about it. And when they think about it, they will see the opportunities. When they see the opportunities, they'll grab the opportunity. And that will help them move towards wherever they want to go. And the goals can keep evolving and changing over time. So that's the second principle. Third ritual I tell our members, which I follow, is affirmations. So what I've done is I've written out all my affirmations for my life, like whatever I want. I've recorded that with my voice, and I listen to my own voice every day. It's a 15 minutes set of affirmations. So that I like to start my day with it. Sometimes I like to finish my day. When I'm going to sleep, I plug in my earphones and listen to my own voice talking about my affirmations in present tense. And the way you write affirmations should be in present tense. And it should be where there's an emotional energy, there's a charge connected to what you want to do. So goal writing is different from affirmations. Okay, goal writing is what you want to achieve. Affirmations is what you are. And some of these affirmations, some of people, when they start doing it, they may not believe in it, but the more they hear it, that's also part of the operating system upgrade process. Okay, so the way that I designed my entire system is a combination of both. Operating system is getting upgraded on one side and applications are getting installed. And then when they start to implement that knowledge, they start to get results. So that's how I look at mindset and skill sets and tool sets. Everything needs to go hand in hand. And based on the topic, even I tell my students, when they are creating courses for others, when they're creating coaching for others, they have to follow the same element. They have to install rituals in their students. And then as they're installing their rituals, then they also give them the tactics and skills. They install the applications or the different things that they can do. So the problem with today's industry is everybody is looking for the apps. They're looking for the tools. But the tools will not work unless the OS is fixed.
Wow.
Okay. So that's why I believe the process that I've developed right now is truly going to reform the education employment system, because it's going to transform the individual and along with getting the other tactical knowledge that is there anyway.
Yeah. Wow, beautiful. And since you come from a spiritual background, so how gratitude plays an important role in people's life, because most of the people they don't have that state of gratitude. So can you focus on a bit of how gratitude plays an important role?
Yeah, see, gratitude is like fuel. It's like putting you have your car, like your body is like the vehicle, and then you've got the driver of the car is like your brain and all your ideas and all your mindset and all of that. So the body is the vehicle, the driver of the car are all your different ideas, and it's probably, I would say, it's your soul. Okay, your soul purpose, that's going to be going. And gratitude is the fuel. If you're not grateful, you can't go far. You may have you may be having a Ferrari right now. Okay. And you may also be knowing how to drive the Ferrari, but if there's no petrol, you can't go anywhere. So that's how I look at gratitude. Gratitude and being grateful for every single thing is going to help you realize, the blessing in the smallest things. Even in an adversity also, there is a gift. There's a blessing there. So when you are able to have the lens of looking at gifts in every situation in your life, that's when your life will start to change and it will start to move forward. So you'll be able to use your body and you'll be able to use your skills to your maximum potential. And the opposite end of the spectrum are the people who are cribbing about every small thing. They're always blaming and complaining and living life where, always pointing fingers at others, not taking personal responsibility. You can't do anything for those people. Okay. Unless they're able to start to realize that the only person that can change their life is not anybody but themselves. Okay. When they have that realization, then only things will change. And how do you realize that? Is by looking at even a negative situation as a positive, or finding the gift in that. Like when I lost my job, if I had not lost my job, I would not be doing what I am doing right now. That gift was required. When I was in that point where I did not have money to buy food for the family, that was a gift, because in that adversity, I found my true power. Like I had to decide whether I'm going to do this, go back to a job or start my own business. That fire needs to come from somewhere. And some people need positive motivation. Some people will need to get slapped a little bit to get that motivation. And depending on where you want to go, the universe is going to move you in that direction. So whatever you're going through, it's actually going to grow you. And gratitude is the fuel to it.
Wow, I loved it. Gratitude is a fuel. Beautiful. Siddharth, one question. As a digital entrepreneur, you go through ups and downs. So how you bounce back when you go through that down point of life? For example, when you take webinar, probably there might be some webinar where you're not making money. The Facebook ad is not working as you told. Sometimes you're in losses. So how you bounce back?
So it's a sine wave, you know, there's always ups and downs. As long as the overall graph is going up, that's what I look at. Okay. So, see, when it comes to a challenge, one thing I've exercised, you know, personally is not to put too much of energy into the problem, but shifting the energy and looking at the solution. Okay. So if it's a webinar, I don't do too well, 0 sales. Yes, I'll feel bad. Okay. We are all human. Nobody is perfect. Okay. So there's going to be a moment where it'll be like, oh shit, what happened? And then you got to quickly switch from there to, okay, fine. Now let's look at what all went wrong. Let's look into that. Okay. And then I look at the different points, and then I look at what can I do next to fix that particular issue. And you know what? These challenges are needed. Because if you don't have challenges, then you can't go to the next level. Like if my ClickBank the commissions do not get stuck, I would not have even created this. I would be happy just doing what as an affiliate.
Yeah.
So with every challenge, you just need to ask yourself one question: is okay, fine, you've gone through, just went out the emotions, and then think about, okay, now what did I learn from? What's the lesson from this? What can I do to improve it? And quickly get into action mode. Because if you're in the cribbing mode and blaming mode, then there's no progress. So you have to switch energy as fast as possible. That's the only advice I can give for anyone here who's going through this journey. Something is not working, good. Identify what's the problem. See if you can quickly do it next time. Like I've done 600-700 webinars from the beginning, and only now I'm doing automated webinars. But before every week I would show up at least twice or thrice a week doing the same sales pitch. Some webinars would get 20%, some webinars 7%, 3%, 2%. Some webinars, not very good show-ups, but still I had to go through that. That was what was giving me the confidence, you know, to build from one to the next. So when it comes to conversions also, there are different dynamics. Like sometimes you'll notice if it's a Diwali season, suddenly all the big companies will start to spend on ads and your cost per lead will go through the roof. So you need to understand, okay, fine, this is a part of a yearly cycle. Okay. And then sometimes what will happen is you may do some promotions for a webinar and not many people may come. Okay. So you need to understand what time of the month is it. Maybe there's some festival or something going on. Or you need to look at the multiple dynamics. Okay. When it comes to ad platforms, when it comes to show up rates, when it comes to conversion, maybe because of that, maybe you had a bad day at home or you had a fight with your wife. And then your energy somewhere inside, something's playing out. And when you do the webinar, even though you're saying all the right things, energetically people can feel you and maybe your conversion will drop. Okay. So we are all human beings. You just need to be okay with going through that. And the only way to bounce back is don't focus too much on the problem. Focus on the solution.
Wow, profound. I remember in one of your video, you told whenever you go through that stress moment, you make a lot of videos.
So yeah, I do that. For me, the way to overcome that is this I learned in the movie The Secret. They say something called the secret shifter, right? So where are you putting your energy? Like for me, whenever I go down, I like to shift the energy to creation. So I'll quickly open up a mind map, or I'll listen to Vic, or I'll listen to my mentors, and I'll start taking notes, or I'll listen to some podcast. Okay. And while the podcast is going, I'll take notes and I'll start to create a new video or start to create a new podcast. Because now, rather than focusing on the problem, I'm focusing on creating something new. And a lot of my content has been created during those moments. Yeah.
And trust me, I got inspired by that video. And whenever I feel low, I make a lot of videos. So I've started growing my YouTube channel now. So I got inspiration from you. Okay, I'm also stressed. Let me make video. So I see some of your content. I see some Rajiv's content, and then I read some books and I design my own content. And I think that was a breakthrough moment for me when I saw that video. Siddharth, last question before we end this. I I always focus on the key areas of life. There are 7 key areas of your key areas of our life. It's just not money, but your family, your career, your spiritual life, your contribution. Everyone plays an important role. So how you
Yes.
balance that 7 key areas of life? Because some people just focus on making money, they don't focus on their health. Some focus only on relationship, they don't focus on their career. So how you balance all the 7 key areas of life?
So I like what Pooja says. She says there's nothing called balance. Okay. Like when you have to really go and do something, you just got to go and do it. Okay. Like if my business is on fire, I need to put off the fire. There's no question of balance. But the word I want to use more is harmony. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like to finish something and then come back to like the other areas to really work on it. So I'm not playing a balancing act. I'm always trying to harmonize and try to see that every area that requires attention is given that much of attention. So that comes down to the way that I've structured my week. So I follow a 4-day work week where I like to work for 2 days, and then I like to take a break. I like to work for 2 days. When I say take a break also, my mind is working, but I don't want to have any meetings, nothing. I just like to keep my calendar free for that day. So the way that I've chalked out my calendar, it all comes down to prioritization. Okay. So how do you create harmonization is through prioritization. So the way that I like to structure it is, if I have to work 4 days in a week, and on each of those days, if I can just select my top 3 activities for that day and lock it into my calendar, that's the only thing I'm going to focus on. I don't want to have a 10-point agenda to finish things per day. Only 3. So for today, this interview is one of my top activities for today. Okay. So I put that into my calendar. I don't like to fill my calendar up with too much of things. And that free day is my free day. Saturday, Sunday, unless I'm doing an event with Success Gyan or something else, it's usually I keep it completely free open, because that gives me that space and time to think about new things. I'm not in the zone. So 4-day work week into 3 tasks per day is 12 tasks per week. If you're able to identify what are your top 12 areas, top 12 actions for the week. And then here's the magic. When you're working on those tasks, work in chunks of 2 hours. Put your phone in airplane mode, remove all those pop-ups. And if you work on that particular task with full focus, you will be able to achieve a lot more than doing something for 10 minutes, looking at WhatsApp, looking at Facebook, and then again doing 10 minutes. You'll never be able to achieve things. It's always going to be distracted. Okay. So this is the way I like to harmonize. So as a part of my 4-day work week concept, for me, like evenings, I like to spend time with the kids. We do PS4 gaming, Nintendo Switch. We've got everything at home. With my wife, it's compulsory, at least 3 or 4 days in a week. We just go for a drive for 1 hour, 1.5 hour drive. Okay. Just drive and we just discuss. We just, keep discussing things. Other thing is like my wife completely handles my financial things. So I told her, I'm going to focus on making the money. You focus on managing and multiplying the money. So all the investments she takes care of. So we've created like a team, like system within our own family, so that all the areas are met, in family life. And spiritual life, yes, I do my morning meditation. My wife she does her morning meditation. We do japa meditation in the morning. I follow the Hare Krishna thing. I've been doing it from my childhood. And I've been initiated into that spiritual line. So I have a few, rituals that I follow spiritually. We love to go to temples to get the charge from there. Then when it comes to health, I don't eat heavy stuff in the morning. I do only shakes in the morning. Only lunch is the only meal that I eat heavy. Otherwise, I don't. So I'm very watchful of what goes into my body. I only eat sattvic food. That's also part of my routine. And when it comes to physical exercise, I like to walk on my terrace in the evening for at least 1 hour to 1 hour when I'm listening to podcasts. There's also some sweating that happens. I don't do weights or gym and stuff, but this is what works for me. But I'm able to keep my body also fit. Okay, so I'm like 40 now, and but in my mind I'm 25. Okay, in my mind I know I'm 25 years old, my body age. So that is also an important thing when it comes to health, is to also put a number into your subconscious on what you want your body age to be. And I feel like I'm when I'm 25 years old. Okay. So I think these are the small things that have helped me. So health, wealth, relationships with family, spirituality, and
what about contribution?
Contribution. Yeah, that's a good question that you asked. So for me, every month, before the 5th of every month, we give towards 5-6 charities that we are supporting. I'm building a foundation also right now, and where those keep going out every single month. So charity is a part of it, and lovely thing is that I made it as a community thing. So we have our entire community. I think we have given now close to 3.5 crores in charity as Internet Lifestyle Hub as a community in the last few months towards various different causes. And when I do my birthday, I had a birthday event, and I got everybody to do like some food relief contribution. We did around 6 to 7 lakhs of contribution in 90 minutes. Okay, where I asked everybody to contribute to one charity. So for me, contribution is not just in terms of money, but I also contribute in other ways. Like I'm completely supporting my wife's parents and my parents. I told my dad to retire. So the contribution towards the family members also. So that's like part of it's a part of the equation, just like how we pay our mobile bills.
Yes.
Charity is the chunk goes every single month to those specific causes that I believe in. Yeah.
Wow. So profound.
And this is a part of my monthly habits cycles from the day I started my business till today. From even especially the Internet Lifestyle Hub, from that day one, April 2018, when I started this product-based business from a services, every month I contribute, and every month I never negotiate on that. Yeah. So that's how I harmonize all the areas.
Awesome. I love this new concept. There's no balance, to harmonize. Beautiful. I think our viewers will love this. Sidz, before we end, what is the 3 core messages that you would love to give to our audience? What is the top 3 messages that you would love to give to our audience?
I'll attribute this back to Jim Rohn. I love the man, and those who do not know, Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' coach. Okay. So first thing he says is to have more than you got, you have to become more than you are. Okay. So you can't be the same person and expect different results. So you have to keep working at the next version. Always there's a next version to move through. Okay. Always there's a glass ceiling that you need to break through. And usually the glass ceiling can be broken either through association of people, through your environment, by associating yourself with the achievers, or by nature's way. Nature will put you into a situation for you to learn a lesson. Okay. The second principle is, again, by Jim Rohn. He says, formal education will make you a living, but self-education can make you a fortune. And so if you have the mindset of a lifelong learner, then there's no way that you cannot achieve what your goals are. Okay? You will achieve it as long as you're adaptable and coachable. Okay. And the third principle is, I think it's one of my own quotes. I've not heard this anywhere else, but it's when your thoughts, words, and actions align, it will start to become a magnet to miracles. Okay. So you have to live and breathe what you're saying. Otherwise, don't even say it. Okay.
Wow.
And when you live that, then naturally people will get drawn towards you. You'll become a magnet. Situations, opportunities, people, things will start to come towards you for who you are.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for sharing such valuable insights. To all our viewers, Siddharth has launched his book, You Can Coach. You can definitely read one of the most beautiful book. In fact, my sister is reading this book now, You Can Coach. So to all my viewers, do buy. It's on Amazon, and do read that book. And I would strongly recommend, if you really want to become an entrepreneur, a digital entrepreneur, if you really want to enter into this booming coaching industry, do attend this webinar, because I have attended more than 8 or 10 times. Then I decided to be part of his silver. Then I have reached it to diamond level, and very soon I'm planning to reach it at Quantum Club. So thank you so much, Siddharth, for spending a lot of valuable time. You have really played an important role in my transformation journey. And thank you. I'm really grateful and thankful for all the efforts that you're putting to change people's life, and all the best for your mission. I'm sure I'm also there with your mission. We all together can change this entire world.
Thank you. Thank you, Amol. Really means a lot. Yeah. And more power to you too, and helping others go to the next level. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Most important person in your life is you. Please pray for yourself, because you're one of the most important person in this entire world, entire planet. Pray for yourself, pray to God, pray to universe to give you a lot of strength, to give you a lot of happiness, to give a lot of feelings, with emotions, no one can stop you. When you start designing your own content, when you start any of your business, people should get connected. Each and every model when you design in your program, as a trainer, as a coach, or when you start any business, first question is, why I want to add this.
सामर्थ्य आहे हातात जर, स्वप्ने डोळ्यात घेऊन चल, परिस्थितीशी भिडवून छाती, दोन हात करत चल. विजय तुझाच असेल, विजय तुझाच असेल, मागे वळून बघू नकोस. आयुष्य खूप सुंदर आहे, तू कधी खचू नकोस.
सर की वजह से आई वॉज सो कंसिस्टेंट इन माई वर्क. इट वॉज गोइंग लाइक दिस, धीरे 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 चल रहा था, लेकिन सर के साथ कनेक्ट होने की वजह से स्टेप बाय स्टेप एकदम से वो बूम हुआ.
रॉकेट आगे कब जाता है तो पीछे आग लगी होती है, वो आग जरूरी होती है. परफेक्शन इज अ मिथ, प्रोग्रेस इज सक्सेस. आई बीन राइटिंग पोएम्स फॉर 15 years, publish अभी भी. दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ MRI.
You have started spending some great time with your family, your relationship has improved, your health and fitness has gone to the next level, mentally you have become very strong, emotionally you have become very strong, you have developed a lot of good skills which can help you to make money, which can help you to impact people's lives.